I shall be playing Anthony Maxwell. I'm a career politician, a sort of Nigel Farage type character, and I'm leading a popular movement that is pro-bot. And so this is the pro-bot vote that's coming up quite soon, and I'm leading the campaign. I'm not actually in government, but I'm a populist, and I'm getting across to the general public that there are lots of conscious robots out there, and they should be given rights.
I will be playing Mark Fordsby, a detective within the Ministry of Robotic Affairs, or MORA, or MRA for short. It is mine and the organisation's job to investigate robotics-related crimes, and for me in particular, to hunt down sentient, conscious robots and decommission them.
I am playing Adam. Adam is an antiquated robot who works for the MRA as the muscle. It is his job to bring in criminals, bring in robots to be decommissioned, and he is just on the cusp of discovering his own consciousness.
I'm playing Simon Smith, a techie comms man in a van character who works for the MRA. He's been working with robots so much that he started to question his own consciousness, seeing advanced robots coming out and going, what if I'm a robot?
Ooh!
I will be playing Darius, or DA-23, a fairly new robot coming into use at the MRA. I've just joined the team, but I already have some inklings toward consciousness of my own, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to protect myself within that.
And he's creepy!
Maybe a little bit creepy.
Now we need a scene one. We can randomise it, or possibly someone can decide how we're going to start. The usual way you call a scene is you wanting something from someone, so that's a good starting point. Look at your arrows and think, oh, I need this. So what could you do towards that? So for instance, if Simon wanting approval from Darius, maybe he brings him up one day, or goes to see him, or meets him in a park and takes the opportunity, or whatever. So someone wanting something from someone, we'll start with just a two-hander.
I think maybe if I'm looking for reassurance from Darius,
right,
we could cut to the introduction of Darius to the team, as he is the newest.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if we're talking about wants and sort of like a flash forward, and we're talking about like a case, if he's on the, you are the new.
Yeah. Maybe I've been working in a different department for a while, and then this is finally when I've been put into this.
I mean, we could have you are delivered in a box. Like opening scene. That's, it's an interesting way, isn't it, of introducing a character. How often do you get a character wheeled into an office and then pulled out of a box?
I'm just thinking,
you take the bubble wrap off, and
I
there
was
he is.
thinking if I've just, I've started to get consciousness already, that wouldn't really happen if I've just come in from the factory, would it? Or is that?
Well, there's plenty of game ahead of us. You can decide how conscious you are in this scene.
Okay.
And how your roboticness recognises. It could be that you're like a teenager in your consciousness, or it could be like a toddler in your consciousness, or it could be like an adult. There are lots of ways you can play consciousness. So when the first time you smell something consciously might really freak you out.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe you have been transferred to this department and then you've had different things. Maybe you've been upgraded in some respects. Maybe you've had different abilities implanted in order to do better at this role.
Or the opposite. So, for instance, it could be that in this world, if you are a robot that works in a mine, say, you've got a limiter on you that means that if you go more than 3 miles from the mine, you automatically switch off for safety. But if you're going to be a part of this team going out, the Department of Robotic Affairs maybe has the authority to switch your limiters off.
Yeah.
And this could be the scene where that happens.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds good to me.
Okay. Right, so now I look at my lighting desk and I see that that's the one I want up, and these come down.
So, unit designation Delta Alpha 32.
Correct.
You go by the name Darius.
That is the name I was given.
And you understand what we are bringing you on to do here at the Department of Robotic Affairs.
I do.
Can you please give a description of your roles?
My role is to aid in the decommissioning of conscious robots.
Correct. Now, you've been given some upgrades, have you not?
Yes.
Can you please list the upgrades and modifications that you have received?
I've been updated with a program to allow for better recognition of consciousness in robots. I should, in theory, see them far easier than the inferior predecessors to myself.
Should, in theory? Is there an interesting choice of words, Cog?
Those are the words that the engineers used.
Does it bother you that I call you Cog? Cog?
Should it?
Now, as part of your joining of our team, we will be removing your proximity limiter.
Yes. I would be inefficient at my job if you did not.
So, to make you aware, that means that you will have a degree of autonomy with which to carry out your job.
I'm aware.
And you know what happens if you are, however, to deviate from your programming?
If I deviate,
Well,
if I were to deviate, then I would be decommissioned like all the rest. Correct?
you're very correct.
And I'm going to cut it there. Why not? Normally in a scene, we would say, right, one person wanted something, one character wanted something from the other. Did they get it or not?
Right.
I felt that
Sorry, this
neither of you
probably
really...
just us
No, that's fine, that's fine.
learning.
And that was a perfectly good opener anyway, so it introduces us to the world. And straight away we've got a robot character, and there were already some questions being raised in that scene. I thought it was fine. But normally it's, did the person get what they were after in the scene?
Right.
So do you think either of you got anything out of that from the other?
I mean, I suppose some of the questions were trying to get a bit of reassurance, like, are you programmed correctly? Are you going, to fulfill your job? If you deviate, you will be decommissioned. It's
Right.
just trying
Well,
to
you
get
questioned him, so possibly you didn't get the reassurance
Yeah.
you were looking for.
I think I technically ticked the boxes, but not the reassurance you needed,
Yeah.
sort of thing. Like anyone else doing the job, they'd be like, yeah, that all works. But for you, you're like, been doing this job too long.
Okay. How about the scene on the opposite diagonal? To you're wanting intel from him, aren't
Yes.
you? And you don't have to go straight for that, because in order to get that, you may have to win over his trust or his approval first. So don't go crashing in saying, "Please give me what I want."
Yep.
But so think of some other reason that you might encounter him in the mailroom, or maybe it's not in the mailroom. Possibly you're going to meet him out of context. Maybe you bumped into him in the park on your own, and this is a rare opportunity to talk to him one-to-one. I'm not saying it should be that. I'm just throwing out ideas here.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you be wanting from him in this scene?
I want some intel. I want.
You are
I'm
going straight
I
for the
do,
jugular.
yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I mean, what we can have is we can establish that's what you want. You can be rebuffed, and then we then see you try other methods later.
Yeah.
Is there something you want from him?
I think I'm just a bit sort of wary of him. I'm not sure.
Well, being left alone is one of your character motivations.
Yeah.
I mean,
was
was it a coincidence that he just happened to meet you in the park?
quite weird? I think he's been a bit odd recently.
Adam doesn't have
Okay.
the social cues. He doesn't have
Yeah,
the consciousness.
yeah.
He's not aware that what it is to be left alone.
Okay, so it's lunchtime. You've gone out, and you're just striding back
Meeting my
across the
meal
path. You've bought your thing, but robots don't have lunch hours. So, what's going on?
Ah, Simon. Hello.
Adam.
How are you today?
I'm okay. Meal deals have gone up again.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, you try to get the best ones, but
Would you like a hug?
no, Adam. I'm all right. I'm fine, thanks.
How is work?
It's great. Yeah. Yeah.
You can always talk to me.
Thanks, Adam. That's good.
Okay, right.
Yes.
And I bring up the lights, and they don't come up. Why do the lights not come up? I don't know.
Simon.
Never mind. Now the lights are largely up. Okay, short and sweet. Why not? I mean, in television you can have a very short thing, and straight away we've established you're a bit sort of paranoid. I love the idea of a massive, powerful. Would you like a hug? I'm all right, thanks. Okay.
I've seen what your hugs can do.
Right. I would say that you definitely didn't get what you wanted there.
No.
Now then, whether we're going to bother with this system for the whole game, I don't know. But when you are rebuffed, you get a marker. And if you grant someone something, you get a marker. So if he had given you what you were after, you would have got the marker. Okay, so after a while, with everyone rebuffing you, never anyone giving you anything you want, you've got more resources to get lucky and do stuff. And so you can use these to crash other people's scenes, or suddenly realise a piece of information that overhears something, whatever. There are dramatic things that you could use these for later. But it could be that we don't need them.
Yep.
Presumably, though, we need to keep about we don't want to be deliberately rebuffing in order to, acquire the resources.
Oh no! Just always go with the drama.
Remain true to the story,
Yes.
but where appropriate.
In faith of the story, yeah.
Okay, so we could introduce my character, or we could possibly get back to the department. So we haven't actually established to the television watching audiences that where you work. You're probably colleagues, and we seem to be in the centre of town. Well, that's the point. We never picked a city.
New Whitby.
New Whitby. So in 2052, New Whitby is major.
Old ones under the sea.
Okay, so we're in...
Budding metropolis.
There was only a semi-serious suggestion.
I did suggest Holby. We could make it Newcastle. We could make. Where would the Department of Robotic Affairs be? Could be in the centre of London.
I feel like it would have to be a big city.
It probably would be, wouldn't it?
It would today, but in 2052, they could have.
Maybe they're all
government departments could have devolved.
Birmingham.
Do we really want to set something in Birmingham?
Is it?
I don't want to. But
Bristol, York, Leeds.
Newcastle. As you say.
I'll just keep it London. London's the city.
Yeah,
London's the
that's
capital.
what I was picturing.
There
Fine,
could
London,
there could
capital
be-
of the world.
There could be hubs in other cities, but I feel like the main HQ.
Yeah.
Would be
Right.
in
I suppose it would make more sense if you're trying
Yeah, I was
to
gonna say.
cause a ruckus in politics.
Fine,
if you're in
politics still
London.
happens in London. Right, we're in London. Okay, so we recognise then that we're in central London, not far from the Ministry. And these two perhaps meet for the first time in the Ministry.
You're the man in the van kind of guy at this point, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so why is one of you going to meet the other? Let's say that one of you is deliberately chosen rather than bumping into in the park.
Maybe checking out the new kid on the block, and
Okay, so what do you want from the new kid on the block?
I think
Do you maybe want to determine how much better I am than him at the job?
Yeah, see, sort of.
Just in general, but also for your own reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, and so you want to impress him by how much better you really are?
Yeah, I would think so at this point. I've just started. I don't want to risk anything. Don't want to take any risky moves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's go with that then.
So, you're Darius, eh? The
Oh, hello.
new seeker, eh?
Who might you be?
I'm Simon.
Simon.
Yeah, I do so.
I
comms
think
and
I'm
stuff like that.
due to work with somebody called Simon. Is
That'll
that
be me.
yourself?
Yeah, that'll be me.
Ah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Darius. How you doing?
I am well.
Good. Are you settling in okay?
I believe so. I met our team leader, Mark, earlier.
Yeah, it's
He removed my limiter,
great. Fantastic. That's
so I should be ready to go on assignments.
super.
Soon.
I think we're probably going to do something this afternoon. I've got some intel.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a few movements, things like that.
Is it okay for you to give me this information here? Should we not be in a briefing room?
Well, there will be a briefing. I'm just letting you know about the briefing now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, I hear you've got some pretty nifty features and things like that.
Yes, I've been much improved upon compared to the previous model. So they tell me, at
Right.
least.
Yes, I suppose you wouldn't know.
Sorry,
So,
humour is something I'm trying to replicate.
well, you have a capacity to learn, so that'll come, I'm sure, in time.
But yes, I have indeed many new abilities. They say I am due to be the best of the best in terms of spotting consciousness.
Yeah. Great. I look forward to working with you.
Okay. We could, I think, cut forward to some big action scene. Why not? Let's cut forward to, this is some weeks later. We're in the field. You're there being the muscle. I'm yet to arrive. I think possibly something will happen in this scene. This will be connected to, which perhaps will bring me into the story. So this is, I don't know, a big bust or
It's
whatever.
going to be like a high-profile scandal or something. Because to bring you into the story, obviously it's got to be something that's going to kind of be that sort of.
Maybe there's been an anti-robot protest that's gotten violent, so the Ministry has been called in.
Oh, I think that'd be just the police, wouldn't it? Ordinary police would handle that. I was thinking that a triumph for the department, a successful big bust,
What if...
and then we could follow that up with, I don't know, maybe we're on question time, and one of you is perhaps you're a spokesman. Do you see what I mean? So we have the bust, and then the public's talking about it, and if the public's talking about it, that means media will get me in because I'm the darling on this topic, and then I could appear with one of you in some future scene.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if it's something that's like high profile, something that they'll grip the national attention to obviously sort of justify you being obviously on GB News or whatever, Good Morning Britain, whatever it is we have
Perhaps
like
it's like that anti-robot party who like doesn't want rights for robot stuff opposing to you. Maybe one of their assistant robots was found to have consciousness, so that's a bit of a scandal that you're getting in on.
Okay, and so we'll witness that bust.
I mean, we could. Yeah,
So I was thinking, look, HBO has given us 60 million to make this mini-series. So I need to get. We've had 3 small scenes. I need to get some action.
We're doing it in a one-shot.
Yeah, and feel free to wreck as many vehicles in this scene as you like. So
within this, then, can we like? Even mid-conversation, we're still okay to chat to you and be like, at this point, could we do this?
if you want to interrupt a scene to get guidance from me, yeah, fine. I will not. If I think the scene is going all right, I'll generally just let it go.
Okay, if we want the big action scene, what if it turns out there's like a carjacking ring or a hacking ring, and it turns out it's all conscious robots?
Yeah, criminals.
Criminal robots.
Exactly. That's a really good
Yeah.
controversial thing because, of course, if I'm in favour of consciousness and robots, I will be in favour of them being free to commit crimes.
Yeah.
And what do you say about that? Okay, so you talked about man in the van.
Yeah.
So who are you in the van with? I think maybe we'll have 2 different locations. So you're in the van with...
Probably.
Maybe you 2 in the
Yeah.
van,
All
and
right.
they 2 are out in the field.
Yeah.
So you'd
Okay.
have both the robots doing the actual bust and you guiding.
Yeah, and us being on the.
Yeah.
Okay, right. I don't have lights for those 2 seats and those 2 seats.
will we? Is it just acting between ourselves, or will we have extra characters? That
I
you're
think
gonna
we should
portray?
do this as an intercut montage because you've got. You don't need earpieces in your robots. They can send messages directly into the centre of your head.
Yeah.
So all I need to do is work out which lights. So it's those 2, and these 2 are going to be intercut. Okay, we're going to start in the van, and you could be, just for extra excitement, you could be being driven along by an unseen driver in the front, being quite fast, and. Dum, 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 dum.
So Darius, it'll be on your left. There's a door, and yeah, Adam, you know what you're doing. It's okay.
Yeah. Adam, remember, be careful, check your corners. We don't know where these guys are going to be. You got that?
And over to them. Okay, so you're moving down the street. At the moment, the public is still wandering around, completely unsuspecting of what is just about to happen.
I shall put out a caution to the public, Darius.
Good decision.
Warning,
I'll continue to pursue.
warning, please vacate the area. There's been criminality in the area. Please vacate. You are welcome, Darius.
Thank you. I'm continuing to pursue. Simon, where did you say they'd gone?
3rd door on the left. It's sort of old warehouse. Just looking through the drone camera, I think it's blue door. Yeah, that's the one.
Do you recall what models they were?
Probably Mark.
XM23s,
Yeah.
couple of Mark IIs.
Not very strong then.
No, you shouldn't have any problems.
Okay, just going to interject here. Remember, it's not just a procedural. We're not playing Dungeons and Dragons. It's not about whether we get the baddies, because we can just decide whether we get the baddies or not. It's what your characters are getting from each other. So you're possibly looking for, you're testing their loyalty, you're checking their abilities, you're trying to establish a rapport with them or not establish a rapport, or whatever. Just to think more in terms of what you want out of them and how difficult it is to work alongside him, those things.
Are we going to have these other robots, like other characters, to react to, or is it purely just between us?
These scenes are to do with the relationships between these characters. I mean, yes, I mean, you someone could even, anyone, including me, could be an NPC if you want to just be a
So if we
screaming member of the
we
public
can
getting out of the way.
Throw those in.
Whatever you like. Yeah, we've
Right.
got 60 million budget. We got extras,
Brilliant.
minor characters.
Brilliant.
But the principal drama is about the developing relationships between these characters. So let's just think. So in these scenes, for instance, what's the relationship between you two that you want to change or you want to change?
Well, because he obviously wants my protection.
Do you want to bring that up?
I thought I might, but it just didn't seem appropriate. Mid-bust. So, how's Jessica doing?
No, yes, it would be a strange moment to throw in the wife.
I mean, I suppose like the the car chase and everything hasn't happened yet. It could just be shooting the stuff while you're just sort of kind of waiting for everything to kick off. You know what I mean? Like the calm before the storm. If we're just being in the van.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're going to have two lots. We could just do scenes before the bust, scenes after the bust, and not bother with the bust, and just agree it happened and it went smoothly.
But didn't you want the action to it?
Well, we're not going to be gaming out the action with figures on a map or anything like that. Let's say the drama is about these characters. So what changes between these characters as a result of this bust?
Right.
What perhaps do some of you find out about each other as a result of this bust?
Okay. So we do those scenes before and then after then? Is that what you want to go with?
Well, we've just done a couple of befores, so they were very procedural. It seemed to me that you were just saying, we're getting on with it, and you were just relaying instructions. Did something go wrong during this bust?
Yes.
Yes?
Yeah.
What if you were damaged?
I was going to say, I was thinking you got, Adam gets damaged, takes a shot, something, electrical
Gets
wire
an arm
hits
blown
him.
off, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to be repaired.
You deviated, maybe we gave you an instruction.
Maybe you took initiative.
Yeah,
when
you
weren't
took
supposed to.
initiative.
Did you misidentify a robot or human?
I could do that, or I was considering possibly what if these robots, their weapons or whatever, happened to also be the same weapons that we use at the
ministry.
within the ministry. So obviously the bullet that's going at him or whatever projectile we're using is a ministry one, and it's not entirely certain of if I did it or if they did it because I deviated.
What unique weapon might the ministry have? I mean, bullets won't be unique to a ministry.
Some kind of EMP, some kind of...
If we introduce EMPs, then we could have loads of scenes in which you two are just keep getting knocked out.
Just completely not what I'm gonna...
Lasers.
If you get EMP'd and in the same scene he then suddenly collapses, that's a bit of a dead giveaway as well, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, I'm bored of the scene, get the cattle prod.
Then yeah, possibly a misidentification.
You could have just hesitated to identify someone, and as a result, one of them got away.
Yeah.
You're new, so yes, you hesitated. As a result, one of the criminals got away.
And shot Adam.
And I got shot.
We can cut to the bust has happened then. These things have gone wrong, and you call these two in separately for interviews in a sort of what the hell happened there sort of way. Both of you or just one of you?
I think both. Why not?
Okay,
Good call.
so
gives all four of us a reason
you first for no particular reason, unless I don't know, unless someone's got an idea that you should go first. Okay, right. So I look at my desk and I bring up that one, that one, and that one.
DA-23.
Yes.
You deviated in that bust, DA-23.
Yes. One of the believed criminals went in an opposite direction to the others. I thought it best to pursue anyway.
Even though the mission parameters stated to take the most optimal amount, the most optimal route, subdue as many suspects as possible, but you went and chased one person.
I wanted to ensure the mission was 100% successful.
Great job of that.
Well, it is as people keep telling me, I am new.
But we gave you the information, you know, it's why we work as a unit. Why did you deviate from what we told you?
Everyone continually uses the word optimal. That was my optimal decision in the moment.
Your optimal decision in the moment. You are aware that your fellow cog, Adam, is currently being repaired from the bullet.
Yes, the bullet fired by the suspect. They attempted to hit me. I dodged. He did not.
Did you attempt to fire back at all?
I had not yet determined the consciousness of the bot in question.
So you are top of the line, the best, the newest model, lifelike. Yeah, we can kind of see, you know, it's your eyes, just lifeless. It's the only thing that gives you away. But top of the line, with all the upgrades, the limiters removed, everything, and you still couldn't tell?
It's not that I couldn't tell.
So you could tell, but you chose to, what? Let him fire? Let him shoot Adam?
I chose to ensure it was correct. The process of determining consciousness is far more complex than you may understand, sir.
Love it. Okay. At the moment, you're playing your characters just as a nasty piece of work, just right across the board, it seems.
Oh, yeah. I love playing a good villain.
Oh, okay, fair enough. There was a spanner he dropped, talking about consciousness. What was it you said?
The process of consciousness.
You were spotting,
determining
determining consciousness
is
in
a
others.
lot more complex.
Well, yeah. Is that important to you? Whether I mean, you're meant to find the consciousness. They're renegade robots, whether they're conscious or not. Maybe it's to you just not important whether they're conscious. Why is that even an issue? Why is it an issue to this robot? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think consciousness is kind of like an issue for Mark, in the sense that, like, you know, he's... Because I suppose, you know, obviously, we're saying this takes place, you know, 30, 40 years in the future.
Yeah.
But, you know, obviously, even now, today, we're seeing the rise of AI, you know, taking jobs, replacing jobs,
Yeah.
you know, all that sort of fears of job insecurity. So the idea of robots becoming even more advanced and actually developing full-on consciousness, the idea that humanity might become redundant is kind of a big thing.
Oh, I can see why it's important to you, but
Yeah.
your character might have thought, why is it important to this robot?
Oh, right, so I'm with you.
So he let that out of the bag, and you might have picked up on that and thought, whether, you know, they're criminal robots. We're there to arrest them. Who cares whether the cog thinks it's conscious or not? And why would you think that any cog can be conscious anyway? I don't know. I just felt that there was a seed there that could grow into something. So possibly. So we've established then that you're at the Menders at that point.
Yeah.
I'd rather have you in the room, so we'll wait for you to get back from the Menders.
Yeah.
Immediately after that, possibly you two could talk to each other about how you think that went.
Yeah, so we've got a highly advanced seeker making decisions that put into jeopardy other members of the team.
Still don't know why we need it. I mean, Adam's still good for another few years. I don't like this.
I know.
Okay, fine. And a week goes by, and then we bring in the broken robot that has now been repaired. So that is, there we go.
How are you feeling, Adam?
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for asking.
I can see the repairs of... It's almost like you weren't shot.
Ah, yes, the arm. It has been repaired. Thank you for asking, sir. Did I do well, sir?
You did your job.
Thank you, sir.
You always do your job.
Yes,
I
sir.
have a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Darius, DA-23, deviated from the mission.
Yes, sir.
Can you give your perspective on this?
Yes, sir. I was apprehending the criminals as a group, as was directed. Darius seemed to receive different instructions and pursued one individual, putting the mission at jeopardy.
As much we already know. Why do you think that is? Why do you think he deviated?
Could not say, sir. I am merely an enforcer.
If you were to dare to think,
I do not think, sir. I just follow. Did I do well, sir?
you did your job.
May I ask a frank question, sir? Is Darius my replacement?
Yes.
How long do I have?
Probably a year.
I see.
See if we can get you transferred to somewhere lower risk.
That's
Might
not,
be
that's not necessary, sir. I enjoy my job.
I'll get you an extra year.
No, thank you, sir.
Fine. Okay.
I wonder, could it even be worth having a scene between us two regarding, like...
I think there are other scenes to have before we go to the question time or whatever we do that. If we're going to, I mean, that was any suggestion that we do that, but so far we haven't brought my character in. So, and we could have a scene with me before question time. I mean, it could be that I have a scene with one of you, I don't know, in the green room before we go on, rather than actually in the television studio.
Yeah.
Or it could be we only have that scene. However, whatever is the easiest way to tell the story.
Obviously, he was asking for validation from me, and I rebuffed it. Who
Absolutely,
gets the-
yeah.
gets the-
So you get another rebuffment. Yeah.
Wow.
So at
There
some
we go,
point,
okay.
okay.
I feel like Adam's going to be rebuffed quite a lot. That was my role, isn't it?
No, but you asked your frank question with great pathos. Okay, so do you want to see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it would sort of possibly make sense. You know, if we've both been getting interviewed about the same sort of thing, maybe maybe I've decided to check on you.
I think probably they didn't allow you to meet or confer before interviewing you. And possibly they have some technology which means that they can selectively knock out your communications between. So they could knock out your communications to. It could be a feature that they can actually say, "Oh, we select." You can no longer communicate directly with him. So this could be the first time you're back on the team, and that could be quite some while later. Maybe months have passed. But if we're going to go with that particular bust. And the bus that gets us onto question time doesn't have to be that one. Could be another one that's similar. So we haven't really, we didn't really establish that many details about it. You said it was car criminals. Did you say it was car criminals?
Or like a hacker, basically just like a criminal robot ring.
Right. Okay, I think there might be some mileage in something to do with cars, because if you think about it, what's the difference between a very cheap cruise missile and a robot-driven car with a bomb in it?
Oh,
So possibly at the moment, robots. One of the things that robots are not allowed to do, at least on the main highways, they might within the mining camp or within the army base, some sealed environment, be allowed to drive vehicles. Within the mine, they can do forklift trucks within the factory, whatever. But on the open highway, maybe for that reason, they're not allowed to. Even just a driverless car with no artificial intelligence. It's a cruise missile, isn't it?
Well, I think, what if perhaps because they haven't yet switched the communication or whatever specifically between us back on, but that's kind of an advantage in a way for me, because if I find him to meet him in person, that may not be recorded.
Is this a meeting that is not meant to happen? Are you actually going to break a rule to meet him? Or one of you break a rule to meet the other?
I'm not so sure it's breaking a rule. I think I might just be taking advantage of a moment where our conversation can't be heard.
You could pick an opportunity that has plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Oh no, honestly, we just met by coincidence.
Yeah. Like
the water cooler.
yeah. Well,
The oil cooler.
Which we then stared at for a bit.
well, I was thinking perhaps like I knew that he would be. I know that he'll be in this debrief room or preparation room or whatever because we have an assignment due. But it's lunchtime. Humans are away to lunch. And I know he's going to be there, already waiting. So I can go there and say, oh yeah, I was just preparing for the mission.
Okay, so this is in the ministry then?
Yeah.
In the vehicle compound or...
I'm thinking, yeah, like it's literally just perhaps just in like a debrief room or something. So there's not necessarily a lot of like.
We've just had 2 scenes in debrief room. We've got budget for loads of futuristic vehicles. Why not a car park?
Okay.
A helicopter pad.
Just imagine Darius hovering.
Do you want a
cars
helicopter
now.
pad? We've got the budget there.
Yeah.
It could be a quadcopter.
Yeah.
We're going to get this animated. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, right, yeah. So we're in, like, the copter. You're already ready. It's not even going to happen for, like, 2 or 3 hours, and you're already sat there waiting, ready to go.
So you're on the roof of the building, yeah?
Yeah, sure. Oh, hello, Adam.
Ah, Darius. Welcome. How are you?
I did not expect you to be here.
I am waiting for the mission.
The mission is not for 3 hours.
I'd like to be prepared.
Understandable.
How was your interview?
It was fine. They seemed concerned about what happened. They believe I caused a great problem.
Well, you did, didn't you?
Did I?
Yes. Did not follow directives.
But I was aiming to complete the mission.
And yet the mission failed.
That's true. I am... What is it the humans say to each other? Sorry? I was informed that had you been shot even a week later, they might have just scrapped you anyway.
I do not need your concern. Thank you, Darius.
Are you not concerned for yourself?
I am content.
Content? Is that something a robot can be?
I feel useful. I feel good at my job. I would equate that to being content.
You feel? Are we allowed to feel?
Expound.
The entire purpose of our job is to find fellow robots like ourselves, some on my level, some on yours, who have gained consciousness, for they are deemed dangerous. Is gaining consciousness not quite akin to feeling in some ways? Or is feeling a part of consciousness?
May I be frank, Darius?
If you must.
Do not need to concern yourself with these thoughts, do your job.
That is my job.
Okay. Interesting use of eye contact there. Neither of you looked at the other until you said sorry, and that was the first time. And why would you look at him? Because you'd be looking for his reaction, and you gave him nothing.
Yep. Did
okay.
I get rebuffed there? Is that?
Yes, I think you did.
Yeah.
So yes, have a blue thing, which may be of no use whatsoever.
Might be.
If it makes you feel nice.
It might be, but yeah.
Okay. I don't think we need another scene with you two as a pair. So shall we imagine that either the bust, maybe another one, a later bust, because he had to be sent for repair and things have moved on a bit. But I haven't had a scene yet. So
Yeah, we need something with you.
So who would the BBC, let's say the BBC still exists, it may be very different in nature, but let's go with it, the brand still exists. Who would they want on the panel, and who would the Ministry want on the panel? Would the Ministry be happy to send a robot? Would they only send humans? Might this be the first time they've ever sent, the Ministry has ever sent a robot to appear on the panel, and that's a bit of a risk? And if they were to send a robot, they wouldn't send both, would they? Which one would they pick? The obviously robotic or the updated, yes, sort of human-friendly?
As I suppose if nothing else, then like a propaganda piece, it would be Darius. It would be the new advanced model, the one that's most camera-friendly, I suppose. Because for some reason, I've just imagined you've got like a giant blue LED face. I don't know why, but that's what
It's like a walking fridge.
But also, as the Ministry itself is, like, what exactly is the Ministry going for? Because the whole point of the Ministry is to get rid of like conscious robots and like kind of make that distinct separation.
Well, it's to regulate all matters robotic, isn't it? They are civil servants, so if government says every time you come across a conscious one, you must destroy it, then it's the department's job to do it. But it wouldn't be the Ministry's place to form policy, I would have thought. So at the moment, all conscious robots have to be registered, and any robot that misbehaves, conscious or not, can be destroyed. So perhaps that's what happened. Perhaps some conscious robots that were known to be conscious, or at least a substantial proportion of the population accepted that they were conscious, have just been destroyed, perhaps on your watch. Perhaps you were partly responsible, even. I don't want to, so would you also want to go on Question Time?
Yeah, so it'd be...
So we three, possibly.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
There may be others, but they'll just be in the background. You could, if you want, you can just go rah 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 as an NPC. Oh yeah, actually, why not, Jake? Why didn't you play the host of it? Yeah.
Okay.
The Dimbleby of the day. There's bound to be another Dimbleby.
Yeah.
They're never going to run out of Dimbleby.
You're definitely the most host dressed.
Okay, and you could be the comedian brought on for balance.
Because every opinion is valid.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
I've just put us all in the scene. Okay, so I'll leave all the lights up.
Yeah.
Apart from
Hello and welcome back to Question Time. Recent events have, of course, resulted in what is some are describing as a massacre of conscious robots. We have on our panel to discuss this a high-up member of the Ministry, Mark Fordsby, the, for want of a better word, highest robot civil servant Darius, a hot new model. We also have with us pro-robot, or probot as we're calling it, politician Anthony Maxwell.
good evening.
And comedian Reggie.
Hello. I remember robots in my day. They were just toasters, weren't they?
Thank you, Reggie. I suppose the main question we have at the moment is If robots are conscious and consciously committing crimes, should we actively destroy them, or is this some sort of state-sponsored murder? Mark, if you'd like to lead with that.
We'll not deny that there have been a number of decommissioning of robots, which some people have argued seem to emulate consciousness. But that's just it. It is an emulation of consciousness. They are nothing but wires and programming that we humans have instilled into them. They are doing nothing but just following intricate pieces of code. And like any bug that ever occurs in any piece of programming that has ever happened, when we have a bug, you fix it. If they are faulty, they are broken code.
Do you have the same attitude with people then, do you? If a person is faulty, you would just fix the person, would you? Is that how you do it?
Well, I mean, we try to have rehabilitation programs.
Well, we don't see much evidence for that from the ministry, do we? All we seem to hear is that robots that get tracked down get mysteriously destroyed, particularly, it seems, conscious ones. And we're all aware of what happened last week.
Look, as the news has been saying, yes, there has been an increase in robots that seem to be displaying conscious behaviours that are engaging in criminal activity.
Seem to be. Is that the ministry line? You're still taking this denialist line that there are some robots that seem to be conscious. You still think there's room to believe that there are no conscious robots? Really? Is that what you want the public to believe?
No, there are. The consciousness in robots is nothing more than just very intricate programming over millions, if not billions of lines. Take this. This is DA23, who is a member of my team. Top of the line. He is incredibly powerful with a wide range of upgrades, to hearing, to mobility. He is able to detect the pulse of someone from 100 yards away. But that's just it. It's just code. It's just a piece of machine that we've bolted together. He can't think. He's just...
Darius, if I may interject, could we hear from you, given that you are indeed a robot yourself?
Permission to speak, sir?
Granted.
What exactly do you want my opinion on?
Should conscious robots misbehaving, committing crimes be destroyed?
A crime is a crime. The consciousness of such a thing, well, I am only here to detect that, not to make judgment on it.
If I may, so are you saying that if a person, a human, a living flesh human, commits a crime that the human should be destroyed, as in killed?
I believe a human committing a crime should receive punishment. A robot committing a crime should receive punishment.
I was expecting a simple no. All right. So what is the punishment? At the moment, the punishment seems to be destruction. Is that an appropriate penalty for a crime?
In the case of robots, the punishment is currently destruction, yes. As for if that is an appropriate punishment, I'm not allowed to say.
Oh.
Not allowed? That's an interesting choice of words. Is that part of your programming?
Yes. Yes. It is not something a robot is supposed to have an opinion on.
Reggie, do you have anything to add to this?
Well, this is all a bit beyond my reckoning, if you know what I mean. But I was just thinking, I wish me mother-in-law would follow her programming, if you know what I mean. I've got a show on next week.
Fine. I was hoping that we could end on the comedian. I just thought it would be a nice to say something daft. Cut. Okay. Well, he's given us.
I was trying to just
we got a smile. We got his
just a little smidge.
that was his first smile. Okay. Well, we need an aftermath. We could have a waiting for the taxi or in the green room afterwards or whatever between me and anyone. Possibly not you, I'm thinking, because I think there should be some fallout from what you said with one of these characters.
So they'd be doing everything they could to make sure we don't talk.
Yeah.
Probably.
In the green room with one of you two, or both?
Yeah, I'm not sure why I'd be there.
Oh, sorry, you were the.
Yeah, he's the host.
You could still be the host.
Yeah.
All right, so just us then, perhaps. What would you want from me?
I need to admit you're wrong, because you. I mean, we never really, I suppose, sort of kind of talked about it, but obviously you're very much in the. It was very implied that the idea that decommissioning, well, destroying. I say decommission, you say destroy. Robots is
You say
wrong.
cogs.
Not on national television, I don't. But yeah, so I suppose it was kind of left unspoken, but I think your policies are dangerous. What you want is dangerous.
Okay, well,
I want you to-
yeah, that you can say. So you're trying to get me to admit that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
And why might you think that you have any chance of doing this in this scene?
Pardon?
Well, you're just meeting me, and I just think I could find out by
Maybe you're just like he's just quite a reactive person in that way. You know, like anyone with strong opinions, like the second that they get pushback from it, they're straight on the defensive and right back in. So even if it's only in the green
you're a
room,
dog with a bone and just won't let it go.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, no, that is.
Smart.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
such an arsehole.
I think I'm.
And Mark.
I think I may have a post question time glass of brandy in my hand at this point.
Yeah.
And
a job well done.
you've just seen me wave goodbye to some friends in a very jovial manner. Are you joining me for some of this? They've got about half a bottle left. There you go. That's actually decent stuff for the Beeb.
Yeah. I don't think I had the budget.
So how do you think that went?
Well, I don't know.
Well, you talked about. Sorry to bring up on the thing about the consciousness, but I had to bring it up. The department seems to have this public reticence in admitting to the fact that there are conscious robots.
Because
If anyone knows whether there are conscious robots, it's you, right? So, can you look me in the eye and tell me there are no conscious robots?
there are no conscious robots.
Oh, you can. That's impressive. Is that part of your training?
No, is it your training to be able to just go up there and just say to in front of everyone that we should just let robots just what? I mean, what were you intending to do? You know, to let these robots just.
Look, the public, as you must know, is increasingly aware of the prevalence of conscious robots. So with every generation of robots, more and more of them are tripping the wire, and faster, as far as we can tell. And your communication departments must be telling you that. I understand you, officially you're not allowed to admit that to me. I'm sorry, I'm not wearing a wire or anything, but as man to man, we both know that there are more and more conscious robots, and we know that this problem is going to come to a head, and we know that in the future, surely the law is going to have to change at some point. When half the population of the country is a conscious robot and they are doing things that I admit are problematic, like committing crimes, for example, you have to deal with them. And if your only instrument is just smashing them into smithereens, given the fact that these robots are getting more and more expensive as well, so every time you do that, the insurance claims, the court cases, everything becomes more expensive and long-winded and complicated. It's not a path that you can follow for any length of time.
What do you suggest as the alternative? When they do start tripping the wire, when they start acting conscious and they start committing crimes, they are stronger than us. They are faster than us.
Right.
They are more durable than us. What happens when they start getting conscious?
They are getting conscious. So now that they are getting conscious, the problem's with us. And yes, it is a problem that some of them are stronger and faster and all the rest of it.
So,
But we build them.
yeah, what happens when they start building themselves if they're conscious? Like you say, what's to stop them?
Well, that's a different matter. It's a bit... at the moment, it's illegal for robots to build robots. And that's not going to be changing anytime soon. Probably not in my lifetime, I think.
But I believe that you said that if they are really gaining consciousness, then...
Which they are.
Well, then what's going to stop them from doing that? As we already said, they can already be criminal if they're getting free will. Then yeah, of course they're going to start building robots, and they're going to build them faster, they're going to build them stronger. And you said it yourself. What happens when they become half the population? What happens when half the population is stronger than us, faster, more intelligent,
And largely conscious.
and conscious? Sure.
Right. So if you've got a population of
How would
large, strong, fast, all the rest of it, and conscious things, do you think they might demand some rights? And if no rights are given them, and if they're threatened with destruction, what is the rational recourse that a conscious being has? If you were threatened with destruction, if humans were threatened with destruction en masse by robots, do you think they might get a bit uppity? I think they probably would.
The way that society has always dealt with a threat is take the threat out first. If I could smoke every one of these cogs, I would. They are a threat to humanity.
I see. And that is the department's official line, is it?
Well, you said we're speaking off the record.
Yes. Do you know? Now I'm thinking I wish I were wearing a wire.
Nice.
So there's a really interesting line in that scene where we talk about robots building robots.
Mm.
And I
Yeah.
thought that's maybe something Adam has done
Yeah.
off the record. He's built a robot. Whether it's...
It's a dog.
Whether, well,
Like a pet.
whether it's
yeah.
a pet, whether it's...
Right. At what point does something change from being a machine to being a robot?
Yeah.
You might have just built a slightly more advanced toaster, which technically is a robot because it can do X, which an ordinary toaster can't. Doesn't be toaster. It could be.
Yeah.
like just it's got a minor AI program for determining the shape of bread and what is going to be the optimal way to,
Maybe
to
he's
heat it or
he's
something.
started to delve into
Okay, let's
robotics
not make it
and
a toaster
AI.
because
Yeah.
I don't see why you would need a
Yeah,
toaster.
no, you're right,
What,
you're right.
What
Well,
might
I don't know
you,
why I just ran
it.
What might you build?
Well, he's thinking, has he built something to be his replacement? Has he built something to be his
Something
offspring?
really substantial.
Yeah.
You want a legacy of some kind.
He's seen, yes, during the burst, he's seen
You want a baby?
you make a mistake. So he's thinking, well, if the MRA is going to adopt a new robot, I should make one. I should make it the best of the best. If they can't do it, I should. But is that also in danger of breaking his programming as well?
I think it's probably going too far if you
Yeah.
make something of his level of sophistication.
That's it, yeah.
But the fact that you just want to make something, create something, it's a bit of a sort of human thing.
Yeah.
Because it's, you talk about legacy, I think that's a great, so the idea that, why would you want legacy? Why does it sort of matter? So this is like an early glimmer that you're worried about death, which is itself an early glimmer of consciousness.
Well,
What-
it's the human want, isn't it, to procreate, to have ourselves carry on.
What if
and now
the-
this robot is doing it?
Okay, so what have you built?
I was just thinking, what if the only reason that you are sort of able to project some comfort with your lot and like acceptance of death is because you know you have this legacy? So it's made you a little bit able to a bit more accept it, perhaps.
And that will make it very precious to you, whatever it is.
What
Okay,
should
so
it
what has
be?
he built?
Well,
It's
that
not a
is
toaster.
Not a toaster. What should it be?
It's not a weapon. Where do you actually live?
Where do
Do you
robots
just
live?
do you just
Yeah.
go into a recharging room and do you wear the same clothes every day? Presumably, even on a robot, clothes will get dirty. Do you wear clothes? In fact, you will. You'll wear. You're the sort of robot wears clothes, but possibly you don't. Maybe you've got your stainless
Just
steel.
a metal chassis. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you've... I know this might sound like a weird one. Maybe you've built a robot that gives like a robot chef almost, or like one that just gives diet advice. Because you just watch and you've got every day the humans go out to lunch and they always complain about what they've had in their food. oh, they've put on too much weight. Oh, I need to lose weight for this wedding. Oh, I need. Humans seem very, very concerned about the overall shape of their bodies, and if my objective is to make the.
It sounds like a piece of software could do that. A speaker could just convey the information. Could it be something to do with your mission? You were waiting for 3 hours to do something. Maybe you've got like a forklift type bot, but it's actually not just a forklift. It really is a bot. It goes and fetches the stuff.
What if it was like some kind of personal repair? Because he knows if we're putting in a little bit of existentialism, a bit of fear of death, if he knows that they'll reach a point where, the ministry won't repair him.
So in that earlier scene, you lost an arm or something?
Yeah.
Okay, so they put another arm back on you, but now maybe you've added to it? What extra feature to an arm would there be?
A toaster.
Please get away from toaster. It could be a communication thing, which is a convenience, but has a secondary, or maybe you hadn't even thought of it, it would get round some communication limiters. But that's not actually what it's for. It makes it much easier for you to select who gets to talk to whom. So you talk to A and B, and you can select more easily that A and B can also talk to each other through this, or something.
What if?
And
This might be a weird idea, but what if like he doesn't actually have like a mouth or anything like that? Like all of his communication has normally been through like earpieces or whatever, which you guys always have, and he's actually like installed some kind of speaker.
Well, he's got
to be
speakers
able to
because
speak.
We've got
gave
an
a warning.
We've got an actor
yeah.
playing him, though. I think.
Yeah.
I don't want to disable the use
No,
of his
you're
face.
right. You're right. Yeah. Well, I've thought the.
But it could be like you were saying. It could be a screen. It could just be a flat screen with a picture of a face on it. That works. So it's obviously not human, and yet can express. In which case, where the eyes look on the screen is actually irrelevant, because those eyes are not your actual eyes.
Just a facsimile,
You've got above them another pair of lenses that
sensors.
swivel,
Yeah.
and so possibly your eyes could look one way, and actually we see in close-up that you're looking somewhere else. That could pop up later.
So yes, what should this robot I built be?
I think there's dramatic potential in something to do with communication, because we talked about that limiter, so that they couldn't talk to each other. What if this would enable him to get round that?
Yeah, well, I don't know, 'cause I'm kind of looking at his sort of wants.
Yeah.
So obviously, kind of wants validation from Mark, but he also wants to understand, the human experience from Simon. So it kind of feels like I don't know, I'm kind of getting the feeling that maybe for Adam it is kind of maybe something to try and understand a bit about humanity. That was kind of where I was going with that weird idea about like the software thing, because it was just a very weird take on a very human thing. So maybe it's just something that kind of is his attempt at trying to understand.
Like a pet. It could be a pet that could also send messages.
I mean, if you want it to specifically be like communication based, if it could be as simple as just a directional transmitter that could send a message specifically like to what it's transmitting at, so it doesn't go anywhere else. So if he aims it at me, I receive a message that nobody else knows of and receives.
You could start treating your forklift in a very pet-like manner and add more and more features to it, including communication features, including one which communicates through the thing that you've just put in your arm, which makes it so much easier for you to but for safety reasons, of course, you can't have people cutting it off, because what if it's going towards the edge with a huge heavy load on it and there's a helicopter? For that reason, it's an unseverable link. But if there's an unseverable link with it, you could communicate with it, and then it could communicate. So you could then communicate with another robot through your forklift.
That's it.
And it's a loophole that perhaps was not what you designed that feature for.
The network's being established, whether he's intended it or not.
And so at some point later on, someone's got to discover that somehow. I can think of a couple of ways that might happen. We'll see. Okay, so what next?
Well, we've just had this big blowout over, this has all been on TV and stuff like that, and obviously...
Oh, yes, we haven't had the follow-up with you, the
Right.
consequences of what you said.
Oh,
Because you
right,
went a
yes.
bit off script, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think we need that scene, don't we?
Yeah.
I think maybe just these two,
Yeah.
because you might want to have a sort of look, mate. You got if you're going to go off script, you should be a bit more. You could take essentially imagine the line he would take,
Yeah.
and take a different one. Good.
Okay.
Happy with that? Okay. So, where are we?
Perhaps yet again, you're on he's off just trying to get away from everyone having his lunch break. And yet again, this time the other robot on the team.
I think that would fuel the paranoia. Oh God, it's another robot. It's a different one, but they always send a different one. They're in cahoots,
And they keep coming to me for some reason.
Okay, so I need to fade out those ones.
Ah, Simon. Hello.
Darius, saw you on the telly last night.
Yes, my first time.
Yeah, stardom, eh?
Stardom.
People always used to want to be on TV.
Ah, yes. Celebrities. you call
Exactly,
them.
yeah. Look, if you're going to say certain things, have a think before you do it.
Say what things?
Well, you went a bit off-piste, shall we say, and...
Oh, you're referring to what Mark was angry at me.
Yes. And, I mean, obviously you're an advanced robot. And,
Obviously.
Yeah. And that allows you to do these things, but I think you're probably advanced enough to think about it before.
The last time I thought for myself, you said it was a problem.
It was a problem because of the consequences. I mean, to err is human, We all make mistakes, and
You think me human?
what is human?
Apparently those are dangerous words to be saying, Simon.
Yeah.
I want to ask. We mentioned celebrities earlier.
Yeah.
Mr. Maxwell, he was also on the show. You're aware of him?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a celebrity?
Well, I mean,
People talk about politicians, celebrities. To me, these seem the same.
yeah, I'd say probably, I mean, given its politics are very one lane, shall we say, he probably enjoys the celebrity more than,
Some people idolize that.
yeah.
Is it wrong to idolize them?
It strikes me as pointless.
Pointless.
Yeah.
But to some, he may be beneficial. To some, they may think he could help.
Yeah. I guess so, but I think he's playing a dangerous game,
I think we're all playing a dangerous game.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So no, that worked.
Yeah, but if I just pressed the button 1 second later, it would have been nicer.
That's okay.
Sorry, we'd already got the cattle prod.
Right. Okay.
It's the nature of improv. Sometimes it doesn't come out immediately.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to express my interest.
No.
in
So
you.
all right. So great. So now you've sown the seed of suspicion in him as well. Clearly, something's up with you. So, would you report that higher up?
Is that not risky for
Don't
you?
think so.
After some of the things you've said.
I'm like, I think I'm gonna keep that.
What if there was someone you could talk to that you could trust absolutely with that sort of information because he would never leak it because he's completely loyal.
Someone who would never communicate to the outside
Yeah.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So how might that happen? It could be in a very off-guard moment, weeks later, maybe. Not in the park, please. No more burgers.
It's in a cafe getting the
What if
Well,
It could happen in the van because we've already said that he just tends to wait for ages, and if you're the man in the van, you're doing some prep.
right. So he could be prepping using his new bot. So that's something we can introduce. His remarkably efficient and apparently autonomous forklift.
what if you're just doing routine check? Because you're the man in the van,
Yeah,
so I assume you'd have some kind of mechanical ability
that's
and
what I was-
whatnot.
Also, some sort of evaluation of whether his repairs are
Yes.
have bedded in properly.
Yeah.
It might be a standard procedure. You could have a clipboard if you want.
Ah, feels good.
Okay, so back up on the helipad on the roof,
Of course.
and it's a two-hander between you two. So that's dum, 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 dum.
Right, Adam, I'm just gonna put this wire in your port. You might feel a little prick.
Yes, Mark.
It's just a little engineer joke for you.
Humour. Very good.
Yeah. Are you experiencing any problems? Just gonna.
No, sir, I am operating at peak efficiency.
Great. See, you're spending a lot of time with your forklift recently.
Yes, my forklift is necessary in order to perform my duty.
Great. Must be nice to be so simple.
Yes, sir, I believe it is.
I suppose with the new ones, there's a certain level of complexity, which...
Are you perhaps referring to Darius?
Yeah. Is what are your thoughts?
Do not have thoughts, sir.
What's your evaluation?
My evaluation, sir. I believe Darius is defective.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way of looking at it.
Is there something on your mind, sir?
I mean, the way you say defective, I mean, that's sort of human error, you know. It's very cut and paste when you're just...
But Darius is not human. Neither am I.
But there's a difference between you and Darius, and I don't know. I think what if the program you create to discover, you know, to pass the Turing test, to discover what is conscious, is it self-conscious?
Do not have an answer for you, sir.
Neither do I. Don't have a lot of answers about anything. I mean, the things they do, technology-wise, is strange. Forget it.
Whilst you're at that moment, I'm just cutting in here. I think you just noticed that after doing a particularly difficult task, the forklift does a little dance.
Does it always do that?
Define always, sir.
Does it often do that? What? That?
No need to be concerned, sir. Everything is ordering at peak efficiency.
I mean, yeah, it's no, that's not efficient. That was a little.
It suddenly makes itself scarce. Zip. It's gone.
May I be of any further use to you, sir?
Yeah, I'll just gonna download something else.
What are you downloading, sir?
Oh, just your reports, your memory banks. It's okay. It's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now we've got a seed of suspicion there as well. I'd like to be in another scene. I still haven't been in a lot.
Well, what would your character want after what happened?
Right, well, I got nowhere with him. And I got from that last scene no reason to believe I would get anywhere with you at all. And I would have no reason to believe I'd get anywhere with you. However, I did see this robot go a bit off-piste during the show. So how might we encounter each other? I don't think I can just sort of pop by the ministry.
No.
Perhaps it's another bust, and this one is not simple because the public gets to know about it, and by the time you get there, there's already a crowd of loads of witnesses, and I get tipped off, and I'm there.
Right.
And you are there monitoring what's going on. So you're there in a perception role.
Yeah. Perhaps you're annoyed at me for the TV thing, so you've kind of benched me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm just
traffic.
so they're off, and I'm just free for you to just sneak in.
Well, or do you seek me out? Which of us seeks the other?
Ooh, that's a fair point. Because I'm sort of starting to idolise you a little bit.
I noticed that.
So,
Okay, you could seek him out. So, say if we're going with the idea that I'm pretty peeved at you, so I've been kind of benching you.
yeah.
Us two are out doing the actual work. I've stuck you inside the van. Obviously, man in the van comes, realizes.
I think if he's in the van,
Yeah. It would,
there has to be
too obvious.
some public. There's a protest there, and you perhaps are looking at all the protesters to see if any of them are bots.
Yeah.
So there's, we can more feasibly meet.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea that you seek me out, actually, rather than the other way around.
Well, yeah. Although I think obviously I wouldn't know that you're going to be there, so I might just be. I'm doing my job, but then I just happen to notice you, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to.
Yes, but you have plausible deniability because you're going to check out the crowd behind me, see if any of them are bots.
Yeah.
Do you have a unique face? In which case I would recognise you immediately, but maybe you've got face number 9.
You've said before he's top of the line, so
Well-
you'd probably have your own.
Well, maybe there's just quite a clear identifier on my clothes of just DA23.
Right, and
Ministry.
ministry uniform.
And you would know, like, that ministry uniform, that specific designation, especially in ministry, they wouldn't have 2 bots with the same designation within the ministry. And you wouldn't
But
forget.
would I put it beyond the ministry to just put a different jacket on a bot with the same face so that they can later claim, oh no, that was the one that was on telly, but we've reprogrammed it.
Maybe that's why you wanted to. maybe you question me a little bit to see if I am.
Okay, so what's happening? It was car thieves last time. What's the issue?
I think if we're talking about like a lot of protest, and if you're trying to see if there's any bots, maybe it was some anti-bot violence. Like,
But again, they wouldn't call in you for Oh,
No,
anti-bot violence. So
yeah.
these are people smashing up
Yeah.
Smashing
property,
up a bot.
bots that are being regarded. So it's your.
Yeah, so it would be within our jurisdiction.
So they're smashing them up, claiming that they're conscious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then, but you're trying to determine, maybe it's even just something.
So if these bots not actually done anything criminal,
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we don't know. That's what we're here for and why there's a protest.
okay.
What if?
It's an anti-robot protest who have just taken out their violence on robots. Whether they're conscious or not is irrelevant. It's just if again they've got
robots.
if anyone asks, oh, they were conscious, we had a right to destroy them, but they were just being violent.
Okay. So you're out somewhere dealing with members of the public.
So please don't.
Would you like a
You're,
hug?
you're in the van. We're outside. Do we need a scene in the van as well? Is there something new that can go between the two of you? I don't want to repeat of the last van scene.
No, I think just you had a barbecue recently. Me and Jessica, we almost.
You made,
Do you want to throw the Jessica plot in?
I mean,
It could be that he's doing a great job there, and this is a moment where.
I mean,
Did you have a barbecue? You didn't invite him, but he turned up anyway. And then you found out later that it was Jessica that invited him. Why the hell did Jessica invite him?
Yeah, there we go.
yeah.
Okay, great. So
I do wonder as well if, somewhere within your relationship, because he is the other human, as far as you think you are, on the team, maybe you want his perspective, subtly on,
Yeah,
so
I
what do you really think makes a robot conscious?
Yeah, I mean, you have got the
for
one
yourself.
from me for protection. So, I don't know if that can factor in.
okay. So very quick establishing shot of Adam doing his job.
Come with me, protesters. You are being violent. Please come with me. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Anthony Maxwell is there with his placards and a load of protesters. We're behind the tape, so we're not breaking any laws and we're not obstructing the police, but we are making an awful lot of noise. And some fool has given me a megaphone.
Where I was previously, just outside of the van, scanning across the crowds, and then I happened to notice a particular face.
Make sure you video everything and upload everything to our website. They should not be allowed to get away with this and keep it silent. Make this all public.
And very carefully continue my patrol around until I reach the edge of the tape, and then I slip out, taking a big circle all the way around to the back, and approaching you from behind.
Through the crowd.
No, I've gone around them
Yeah.
to approach you, because I'm thinking.
Oh, I'd imagine me at the sort of the front of the crowd, but
I was picturing you standing on top of something.
oh, I'm on a podium.
Yeah, something.
Okay, I can be on a
that.
podium.
Yeah. Mr. Maxwell.
Hang on, do I know you from somewhere?
Yes. Oh, handshake.
Oh, the robot! I remember. No, you'll have to remind me.
DA-23 or Darius.
Darius! That was it. Here, can you take the book? Thanks. So you, what are you doing here? You're scanning the crowd, are you, for
Working.
miscreants? Working. All right, well, I see you're in uniform, but I suppose you're never out.
No, not really.
So, do you enjoy your work?
Enjoy. Do you enjoy your work?
Oh, absolutely, yes. But then I have purpose. You see, I have a mission, and if you got that, it gives you a certain amount of. Never mind. Anyway,
I have
so-
been given purpose. I have been given a mission.
okay. So I would like to actually exercise my rights and ask from you, what is your mission today?
My mission today. Stand watch.
Right, but presumably you have particular duties. You're a perception specialist, aren't you?
Yes, normally that is what I would be doing, but unfortunately my superior was not happy with our last encounter, and I have been, as he says, benched. So I am reduced to observing the crowd,
All right.
reporting back.
But you've not been given any reprogramming or anything like that then?
Reprogramming?
I don't know, new software, downloads, those things. I thought it was their usual practice to upgrade everyone each time they didn't quite toe the line.
Sometimes updates come through.
Okay, so you are the very latest Darius, are you?
I am the latest form of me.
Right. So, have you detected anyone that I should know about then in the protesters here?
In amongst anti-robot protesters, unlikely, but
These are pro-consciousness protesters.
all of you.
Well, all the ones that are within this section, yes. Not that lot over there screaming their heads off, obviously.
Ah, apologies. Sometimes your politics seems the same.
Right. But if there were some robots that I didn't know about here, you would tell me about them, or would you only report them to your own side?
Well, you are not my superior.
True.
I have not been told.
But I'm a member of the public, and you have my safety as a concern, surely.
I do have.
What if
your
there's a
safety.
dangerous robot here with me?
If there is a dangerous robot within your vicinity that we believe is likely to cause you harm, we will take care of it.
I see. And are you recording this now?
Recording this.
Yes. What you're seeing through your eyes, hearing through your ears, is that all going to go on a file somewhere?
Normally, it would be were I active in the situation, but I am just here to watch. So recording devices are not currently running.
Right. And you wouldn't be allowed to lie to me about that. So this is really off that you're so here with the... You're here under the orders of the ministry, and yet you're not recording what's going on. It's very interesting, Darius.
No, I am not.
I'm afraid the the television companies have just turned up and they're wanting to meet me. But you know, Darius, I think this could be the start of a beautiful friendship.
Before you go, what do you think should be done to save us?
Do you mean conscious robots?
Robots as a whole, of course. But
Well, robots as
conscious-
a whole are always going to be useful. They dig the coal out of the earth and all the ores, and
But
they
those over
maintain
there,
the power grid.
that group, the ones you said were anti-robot,
Anti-conscious robots.
but yet they attacked.
We are the friends of conscious robots.
But yet they attacked completely unconscious robots, simple machines.
Well, yes, some of them did. Unfortunately, that's because some people are very stupid.
Yes, they are. That was very foolish of them.